All right, everybody, welcome out there. All right, people are already chiming in. We have welcome to the virtual vineyard. Without further ado, let me bring in the Grand Masters of 16600 Winery, Pablo Blanco, and the owner, Mr. Sam Couturi. Sam and Paul, how are you guys?
Cheers.
Happy solstice, Jamie.
Happy? Is it? I guess it is. That's right.
It's Tuesday, but it's dark and cold and gloomy.
And that's a winter. Well, tell us about the winter solstice really quick. Why is that such a celebration?
It's because the day after the winter solstice, the days start getting longer.
You know what I mean? Shortest day of the year.
It's the shortest day of the year. And then you get on the flip side, and there's like this, maybe some hope and optimism and more lightness. I don't know.
So it's like somebody has buried you alive, and then all of a sudden, you just crack out a little bit of light, and you start to dig yourself out.
Right. You feel like there's another side.
Oh, there's always another side, man. There's always another side. Well, this is super fun. We're doing this again, everybody, because we did it a month ago, and it was a blast. So we have a great show for you today. Of course, we're going to sit around. We're going to talk some wine with Sam and Paul. Hey, Roger. Cheers.
Randall.
Alancha. We have some crazy musical guests. We have a bunch of comedy coming up today, and Phil's going to come in, and we have a special little tribute to a wine master that we lost lately, I believe, right?
Yeah, yesterday.
It's like we planned the show accordingly. It's all falling into place for him. It's like he timed it perfectly for us.
Yes.
But without further ado, let's jump into this thing because it is the holiday season, and I wanted to ask you guys about wine in the holidays because I specifically remember, like especially growing up in an Irish Catholic household, that alcohol and the holidays are one and the same. Do you guys notice? You guys are my go-to gift giving. I always just send a case of wine to people. That's kind of my go-to for Christmas. Do you guys notice that this time of the year, everybody is just like, let's send some wine, especially this year, I would say.
We had Jasmine's like locked in her cave right now, doing just that, putting together all the shipping forms for all the, it's the easiest way to tell someone you love them, right? Send them a bottle of wine.
Or two.
Yeah. Or 4. We like 6, 12.
Nice 12-pack, a nice case going. I love that and stuff.
But how about the one we got? This is the one. This is like it's going to stick with me forever, Jamie. We sent a gift box to somebody's brother, and the message wasn't like "Happy Holidays." It wasn't. It was sorry I said that to you last time we spoke. I hope you can forgive me. And you're like, oh, okay, well, clearly more alcohol is exactly what's going to solve this problem.
Well, that's a great. You must read these things. You guys just go, hey, you got to get in here and read this. Hey, Tanya, I'm sorry I banged your sister. Are there stuff like that? A case of wine and
it. There's things that I'd rather not know.
Yeah. I said I was sorry. Can I come back into the country? Things like that.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a really fun show today. My buddy Max Hamer, who is a classical jazz pianist, is coming in. We have a gentleman from State Fair who is coming in. Tanner Wally is going to come in and play some music, and MJ Fowler is going to come in. The black wine guy is coming back for a little information. But first and foremost, we have a very special guest, guys, and I know he came in for sound check early. He's it's funny. I think historically he's gotten kind of a bad rap. Wouldn't you say so?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people think he's kind of a downer for the holidays, kind of a Grinch, I guess you would say. I guess he's the guy who kind of brought that term to the forefront of society. And let's just introduce him today. Please welcome the Grinch is here.
Look who just got back from Cabo, baby. Cheers.
Yeah, there you go, Mr. Grinch. Well, listen, I really appreciate, because I know this is a busy week for you. You have a lot of holidays to upset. And
I got a lot of petty theft and B&E to do this week, Jamie.
Yes. Well, I know it always ends well, but it looks like every year there seems to be a problem. Well, you have some problems with your neighbors, it feels like.
The Who's are a bunch of losers. They ruin everything. Can I tell you what doesn't ruin everything? This bottle of wine I've been pounding for the last half hour. I'm having a party.
What's funny is I know for a fact that you took that from Whoville. If you didn't have it up in the cave. And
Winery 16600 is very big with the host. They love it.
they do love it. It's one of their few good traits, I guess. Now, listen, I know you went down, you took everything, and apparently you brought everything back except for the wine. But
correct.
A lot of people don't really understand that they are really to blame in this way, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. People don't know that I filed several civil suits against them for the noise complaints. Whoville law very clearly says noise ordinances you cannot have no noise before 9 a.m. 7 a.m. Christmas morning, they're out there. Bahu, Rayo, shut up.
Well, and obviously, I mean, the book that Dr. Seuss, which, by the way, not even that dude's real name.
No, and there's a reason for that, because he paints a picture of lies, Jamie.
Everyone knows that. And obviously, if you're telling the truth, wouldn't you use your real name? Wouldn't you want people to go, if you lie about your name, why are we supposed to believe you when you say the Who's are the good people?
Exactly. And you know what? It's hurt me. For a long time, I couldn't even get so much as a Sam's Club card. They didn't want my kind in there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the kind of stuff, especially now with the internet, you can't scrub it away. I mean, that's going to follow you for the rest of your life. That book, it's around here somewhere, has followed you. And a lot of people now associate the term Grinch with being a meanie. And I think it's
basically a racial slur. It's a racial slur, and I don't like it.
No, because obviously this had gone on for years and years and years. The Who's were down there making a racket, making sound. They never seemed to invite you. Did they ever invite you down just to say, hey, why don't you come be part of the party?
Not one time. Not one damn time, Jamie.
They're throwing a monster bash. They don't ask the dude next door who can hear everything to say, come on down, enjoy. They just go, we don't care about him. And all of a sudden you go down, you raise a ruckus, and then you're the bad guy.
Yeah. And they also don't tell that they were leaving flaming bags of dog feces on my porch all the time. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for that.
No. And then, there were issues. There are issues with your dog. Obviously, Brendan says about that poor dog, Max. But Max is far from innocent in this story as well.
He was a willing participant. Don't let that fool you. Max and I are friends today. He doesn't live with me anymore, but we get along all right. Look, he reaped in the benefits. He was planning on selling that stuff on Facebook rummage sale. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they leave you as the mastermind. In a way, I mean, excuse me if I'm wrong, but Max is the one that pulled the sleigh up the hill.
Nobody forced him. I
mean, you seemed like you had a whip in your hand, but that's minor stuff.
What I do with my free time, Jamie's none of your business.
Well, that's absolutely true. I mean, obviously, if any of the listeners out there have some questions for the Grinch, we'd love to get into it. Mr. Grinch, I want you to meet Paul and Sam. They kind of run 16600.
No way! I am totally enjoying this. This Cabernet is fantastic.
Yeah. I know also you have an immense tolerance for alcohol.
That's my 18th bottle today. Yeah, I'm sitting at, and I'm starting to feel a little something after the 18th.
Do you think at all, like they say a lot of times alcohol increases blood flow, right? Like you can't, you can't have alcohol before surgery or something because it'll make your blood. Do you think that the alcohol intake may have been part of the reason why your heart expanded 3 different times?
There's heavy speculation from my doctor that was the case. That's why I drink so much wine, because I use it for the antioxidants and blood flow. It's for health reasons.
A lot of people say it's a bad thing, alcohol. But in your case, I would argue that you drank all this wine, all of a sudden your heart grows immensely. You have superhuman strength where you pick up the whole sleigh over your head.
Whole sleigh, yeah.
Whole sleigh, full of gifts. And Max, he's hanging on the side, like even him, everything up. And a lot of that, I would argue, is because of the alcohol.
I would absolutely agree with that. Also, it saved me in other ways, because if I hadn't been drinking wine, I would have popped a Who straight in the kisser. And because the wine mellowed me out, I didn't do it. So, I mean, it saved me thousands in legal fees.
Well, a lot of people, hard alcohol, a lot of times, whiskey and stuff, people get in fights. Not a lot of fights in the wine department, it feels like.
Makes you happy.
It makes me extremely happy. And that's not something I do very often, but wine is wine and anything with Betty White. Those things make me happy.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I think wine a lot of times, if anything makes your banter a little wittier, you have that rapier wit with a little wine under your belt, right? It's continental. it takes you to other worlds. Whereas, whiskey, then you go straight to Ireland and want to get in a fight.
Yeah, exactly. Also, a little bit of an aphrodisiac. I've had many a night where it's been chilly and I've had a special who lady nuzzle up to this green fur, Jamie, all because of the wine.
Well, that's the other thing that people don't understand is that you and the Who's were there for a long time. The two community wine. Thank you, Genevieve. Wine does make every single thing better.
Absolutely. Yes.
So obviously, the Who's are very incestuous. There's just a small group of them. They've already, and all of a sudden you're the outsider.
Yeah.
You're
it's shallow in that gene pool. It is. Yeah.
You're the Holden Caulfield of the whole thing. And everybody all of a sudden wants to go catch your rye. Do you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden you kind of, I understand, had fished out basically the entire Who pond by the time this whole thing erupted.
Yeah, exactly. I had done a lot of genealogy explorations because I was looking to spread my oats, my wild oats, sure, in a way, a matter of speaking. I found one girl in the whole town whose bloodline wasn't, the family tree didn't have many branches, Jamie.
Sure. It was basically a pole. It's like a flagpole. It wasn't
like a dowel rod, basically.
It was just a dowel, like a rod from the closet on its side, and that's the whole.
Yes.
Yeah, it's bad and stuff. So, I also, the Who's. I mean, little Cindy is what, 2 years old, tops.
If that, yeah.
Whole place is sound asleep. What kind of parents let a 2-year-old up, just roaming around everywhere on her own, no supervision? To me, that alone, social services need to come in and take all the Who children away.
Agreed. The other thing is, the book paints it that I came down the chimney like Santa Claus. No. I legitimately walked in the front door. So if I'm walking in, she could have walked out. She could have been hit by a car or stray media, anything. Anything could have happened to her.
I mean, in a weird way, you may have saved that child's life.
See, I think so too. In some ways, I'm the hero of this story, but that's not the way they paint it.
No, and that's, the pen is truly mightier than the sword, I guess. And in this way, Dr. Seuss or Theodore Geisel or whatever he wants to be known as, painted his picture. He probably honestly
Dr. Asshat, that's what I'll call him.
Honestly, my guess is there was some type of money changing hands from the Who's, or maybe he got some roast beast or something, but he got something from the Who's. And honestly, he probably works for their lobbyist group or something at this point. The whole thing feels nefarious to me.
Look, there were dollars spread around down there. It goes deep. Look, it's dangerous for me to even talk about, but because it's you, I will.
I appreciate that. Listen, let's involve Sam and Paul here.
Yeah,
Sam,
guys.
Sam, I know you were a big fan, and you didn't know half of this backstory of the Grinch. And
did you know any of this?
I'm a green eggs and ham guy. I always identified with this, and this was making me question everything about my childhood.
As we all should, I think, Sam. I think that's a wise words. Paul?
I got nothing.
That's fair.
Well, Sam has raised a great point, because I know that since the redfish, greenfish, bluefish, yellowfish, those guys.
John and Larry, I know those guys. Yeah.
There's a huge legal battle coming out of there. And Horton, the whole Horton Here's a Who thing, that's a train wreck there.
Let's touch on that a little bit. All those guys from those books, they're all real people, and I know them. We have a support group because Seuss really went on a limb to slander us in a lot of ways. Horton had a medical condition. He was hallucinating, thought he was hearing Who's. There were no Who's anywhere near him. Horton was denied his visa because of this. So he was not even allowed in this country for a long time because of the Who's. Yeah.
I mean, he's making fun of mental illness. I haven't seen someone make this much fun of mental illness since Sean Penn and I Am Sam. And that's a
serious thing.
That was a travesty what he did. And what Seuss is doing is just a train wreck at this point.
The Cat in the Hat couldn't take out a loan for a house because of this, because they thought he was he couldn't rent forever because he was a dangerous tenant. And that's not true. The guy keeps a spotless house. You could literally eat off his floor.
Well, I know he did, but he's a cat, and cats generally eat off the floor, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's get back to wine. Now, I know these guys, we talked earlier about wine in the holidays. And I think that that's kind of the through line of this show is wine or alcohol in the holidays. Do you have any reminiscence of your youth, of, you know, your family or coming up when, how involved wine was with the holidays?
We're talking to me or Sam?
Anybody. Oh, yeah.
Sam, go ahead.
I mean, wine was what all the holidays were about. It was about, you know, finally convincing my dad to break into those, you know, those special bottles in the cellar. And it's when you pull out the big bottles, the magnums, the double magnums. That said, my most sort of vivid and fuzzy alcohol related memory from the holidays was akavit and lutefisk. If there's any Norwegians in the audience out there today, akavit is like the Norwegian spirit, and lutefisk is their reconstituted salt cod, right? And it's one of those things where, you know, that's the main event of the meal, but it's at the end. And the only way that you could ever possibly eat reconstituted salt cod is gallons, shot after shot of akavit, which kind of tastes like Aquanet. That's what I'm pretty sure.
Sure. Yes.
And oh man. And then, you know, you're in Tahoe and it's Christmas Eve and you just drank a fifth of akavit in a household, and now it's snowing and you need to get back to your own house. And there's only, you know, you can't see the line on the road anyway. It was, yeah, that's what, when I think of holidays and alcohol, it's the akavit.
You know, Sam, I totally had forgotten that. I have a friend, Eric Gilliland, who I worked on My Boys with, and he had I think it's called a glug party or something, because he's the same. Is that it's this crazy drink, right? Is it called glug?
Well, that's the, you know, it's all these sort of warm-ups to getting non-Norwegians to eat akavit or to drink akavit and eat lutefisk. They get you warmed up on it's like mulled wine, right? It's warmed up,
yes, spiced
wine with a little sweetness in it, and then they're like, "Here, try this fucking lighter fluid and eat this fish jelly. It's wonderful. Oh, don't you feel like you're celebrating the season?"
We had
Nothing
behind
says
the
happy
bar,
holidays like fish jelly. Yeah,
Exactly.
behind the bar at O'Brien's, somebody had brought a bottle of Pachin, I think it's called, which is basically Irish moonshine, which is just basically pure grain alcohol. And they go oh, take a sip. You know, it'd be like that guy. He'd pull out the cork and the dust would come out. And go, oh, take a sip of this. And you'd be like, whoosh, flames would come out of your mouth. It is funny, during the holidays, everything gets a little bit stronger. I worked at a microbrew in San Diego when I first got out of the Navy, and we would make a Christmas ale. But so people would drink it, but it would be a pint. It's a pint of beer. There's different beers, but the Christmas ale was 14%. It's a barley wine. So they'd leave going, no, I only had 2 beers. No, you had 9 beers. You know, and so we'd finish work at the end of the night and the bathroom would be covered in vomit. I'm sure there were DUIs, they would get pulled over and tell the cop and go, I had 1 beer. And the cop's like, that's funny because you just blew a 3.3 or something. It was criminal what we did to people. But I think that's the holidays of it's that time of the year. Let's just make everything a little bit stronger. Super funny.
You know, it's dark and cold and you need a little, you know. It's the fuel that gets us to freaking January 1st, you know?
Absolutely. I'm from New Hampshire, man. That would be we'd be out. We would stand outside in high school holding our 6-pack and the beers would be freezing. We'd be out in the woods by the granite quarry and somebody would have a bottle of whiskey. And be like, you wouldn't even drink it to get drunk. You'd be like, anything because I'm freezing cold out there, right? It's super fun. All right, listen. Hey, we have a special guest who is going to come in today. This dude is a friend of mine. He's a crazy, Paul hates the term, but he is a pianist. And he's a jazz pianist. And so he's super great. He's going to be playing this Tuesday at Walt Disney Concert Hall, downtown Los Angeles with Arturo Sandoval. You need to check him out online and follow him because he is a phenomenal pianist. Please welcome Mr. Max Hamer. Hey, brother. How are you?
Gentlemen, Grinch, Senor Grinch.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
A little gassy, but otherwise all right.
I feel you.
Do you want to just well, maybe a little Charlie Brown Christmas just to bring us into the mood while everyone refills their wine? voiceover. You know, I'd read something that the network hated it. They hated that music. They said you got to put some voice over it, so they hired a boys chorus to go, Christmas time is here. And the network hated it. They were like, Charles Schultz wrote it over a weekend, and then it won the Emmy. It's been played 1 million times. That's one of the most bought jazz albums of all time, of course, Charlie Brown Christmas, and of course it's iconic in every Let's hear some comments from some people. That's the half the fun of this show, is everybody chiming in. Hey Max, let me ask you, do you have any Christmas drinking stories?
Yeah, let me see. Well, I have a holiday drinking story where I was actually bartending in the Times Square Hard Rock Cafe on New Year's Eve. And because I was a amateur connoisseur of all things craft cocktails, they put me in the upstairs marquee with the Chinese ambassador because they thought that they would want to impress them with making some high, craft cocktails. Unfortunately, the Chinese ambassador and his whole family did not want to drink. So what they did is I just had a whole setup of all this fine liquor and bitters and everything to make craft cocktails, and then they just wanted Perrier for 4 hours, and I got paid to do nothing.
Did you at least make your own cocktails for yourself?
Yes, absolutely.
What's your? Because I'm the same. Like, I used to drink a lot of crappy stuff. Mm-hmm. Then you get to a certain age where you're like, look, I'm only gonna have a couple drinks tonight. I am not gonna waste it on a crappy drink. And so now I'm like, I'm looking for the bad. You go to bars sometimes. It's like, oh, that drink's $25. You're like, they infuse it with smoke, and you're like, oh, that's the one I want.
Cinnamon smoke. Yeah.
Cinnamon smoke. What's your go-to drink?
It depends on the season, really. I think my favorite drink of all time is a caipirinha.
Okay,
basically a caipirinha, Brazilian daiquiri.
Oh, okay. What's in that?
What's in that?
That's cachaça, which is a Brazilian sugarcane liquor, and then lime and sugar. That's it.
Oh.
Very dangerous.
Sam, you're nodding your head. Have you had a couple of those?
You remember your first one. You kind of remember ordering your second one, and then you find out you had 5. You're like, what? I did? No, I didn't.
When you find out you're in an emergency room and it's 2 days later, is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
That's funny, man.
That's awesome. General Hospital.
That's super funny. Hey, also, we were talking earlier about, did everyone see the Beatles, which was kind of a great Christmas present, I thought. Everyone watched Get Back. Did you watch it, Max? Mm-hmm. Because you have an Eleanor Rigby riff. Is it Eleanor Rigby?
Sure.
That you jam on? I can. How did you like that, by the way? Did everyone love? It made me so happy. think of that? I mean, I thought it was so amazing how just to see those guys, and you're like, they're at the end of this insane run of like one of the greatest bands that will be remembered for all times, and they're like 27 years old. It's insane to me when I watch that. Do you guys think the same?
That's exactly what like. They're kids. I didn't know how to do anything at 27, and they're rough drafting out "Let It Be" live in front of you. You're like, it was mind blowing. I also like,
yeah. It makes
Max,
sense. Also, it makes sense at age 27, where maybe finally maturity comes in, but individual maturity and taste and creative ideas. So that's why you could see why there was just this split that was slowly starting to happen, because they're like, wait a second. I feel like I have something to say. And they're like, well, I have something to say. It's like, this is not working.
Yeah. And it's too bad. I think the model did change after that with future bands where, like, even we talked about Radiohead or whatever, Tom York would go off and do a project and then but the band stays on track. And then it felt bad. George Harrison couldn't say it to Paul McCartney, but to John Lennon, he's like, hey, man, I got like 20 songs. And that will take 10 albums of the Beatles for me to get those out. Maybe I could just put an album out and then come back. And John's like, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's going to work. You could see it kind of breaking. But what did you think about Billy Preston coming in?
It's interesting that they had this kind of affinity for him and that the blues aspect and the kind of I guess the harmony that they wanted to infuse to make it a little more hip. And so I thought it was interesting how that's someone that they always either wanted to associate with. How did you get your start? Were you just a kid, like a 1-year-old at the piano? I started at 7. I was one of those weirdos that begged my parents for piano lessons. And so then I was classically trained until I was 17. But when I was 14, like any kind of adolescent male wants to do, they were like, I want to make my own shit up. And not play what other people wrote for me. And so like, ooh, I want to play jazz. I can make stuff up. That's cool. And so I started doing 2 lessons a week in high school, 1 classical, 1 jazz. Classical to keep up the technique so I can shred, and then jazz to try and get girls, which never really happened.
Which is so odd to me because, I mean, not many high schoolers like jazz, first and foremost, right? They're like, hey, can you play, Lynyrd Skynyrd or something? And you're like, trying to do stuff like that.
Yeah, well, now it's the cool thing to do. Now jazz is rock and roll. Everyone and their mom wants to do it, and which is a problem because now it's just flooded with mediocrity.
I feel the same way about stand-up. When I first did stand-up, everyone would go, oh, my God, I can't believe you're insane. Who would get up on stage and tell jokes? And now if I'm on a plane or something and they go, what are you doing? I go, I do stand-up. Like the mother of Soccer Mama 4 is like, oh, I just got up at my local club and told some jokes. And you're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, my uncle played piano. You might know him.
Yeah, that's pretty much life. Dude, it's so funny that we met because our daughters are the same age and they play on little girls. They're both 6-year-old and they play on the soccer team. And so Max and I sat on the sideline and started talking. And that's how this whole thing kind of fell into play.
We're basically just riffing all practice, just making sure one of our daughters don't get injured.
We're watching our 6-year, and our team is this one girl who is a freak of nature. She's like the best soccer player you've ever seen. And like the first game we won 16-1. I think she scored like 13 goals or something.
Yeah.
Like she could step on it and pull it back. And all of us were like, what? Because you played at UC Irvine, right?
I did. Yes.
And I had played in college and stuff. So we were just watching this kid like, oh my God, this kid's going to be on
This is not normal. This isn't normal.
It was not normal.
This is not normal.
Other coaches hated us. And I was like, it's not my kid. It was the coach's kid who's like the nicest guy on earth. But the kid is that good. We were like, this is insane. And so we started talking and stuff. And I was like, hey, what are you up to? You're like, oh, I'm going to, you're going to Prague or something to play?
Yeah, I was going to Budapest, which got canceled because of the Big O that's going around right now. But, the Omicron. But so that's what I'm calling it, the Big O.
Were you doing jazz in college, or was that your major?
Yes, actually, I was a jazz instrumental major. One of the few schools, UC Irvine, actually that had a jazz instrumental major and a Division I soccer program. And so I'm like, I think I want to go there. And luckily, it worked out for the most part.
So when you finish school, I mean, how do you go about getting a job in the jazz industry? I'm not even sure how the whole thing works.
It's interesting. I just kind of got up and packed my suitcase and moved to New York. and slept on a couple couches until I met a guy that, unfortunately, his roommate decided to off himself, and so he had an opening in his apartment, and that's New York. You're like, all right, I'm gonna go in. I'll room with you. Yeah.
Do you know that people read the obituaries? They don't look for apartment listings. They read the obituaries. That's how you find an apartment in New York. You're like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
Guess
West
who died?
Side. I'm
Yeah.
sad, but it's got an elevator.
And so I got a gig bartending, during the day, because the Hard Rock in Times Square is one of the few places where you can make night money during the day because of all the foot traffic. And then I would go and you just go to a 1:30 a.m. jam in the Village and try and meet people. And it's so terrible. It's a terrible way to try and make a living, but I stuck with it. Did some fun stuff, moved back to LA thinking I was done, but as soon as I moved back to LA, the career kind of took off and continued to snowball. Thank the Lord.
It sounds oddly similar to stand up. So when you walk in, what were the clubs in?
Fat Cat, Smalls, Smoke, all of these cellar seedy places that you go in and everyone immediately hates you, which is the opposite of the vibe in LA, where everyone wants you to succeed because, hey, if you succeed, the jazz economy succeeds because people are paying for this music. In New York, it's the exact opposite, where it's like, nope, I want you to fail because then it makes me feel better about myself.
What's the famous one? Is it Woody Allen who sits at didn't he play like every Monday or something or other at some club?
I can't remember which one. I know he's playing clarinet and just, hunched over.
And Jeff Goldblum, I think, would sit in a piano bar or something and play.
Yeah. The Mildred Schnitzer Orchestra, as he calls his band.
Is that funny? Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Super funny. It's crazy. You've traveled the entire world. And this week you're playing with Arturo Sandoval.
Yeah.
For those of people who don't know, please run a couple of his credits. He's like one of the biggest guys ever.
He's got 10 award-winning jazz trumpet player, the disciple of the great Dizzy Gillespie. There's a movie actually on HBO from, I think, 2001 called For Love or Country, which is his story. Andy Garcia plays him in this movie, and he's won 10 Grammys, Presidential Medal of Freedom. Listing up a few things.
Yeah.
Whatever, jazz guy. It's like
right.
Funny, like you kind of almost have to defend your art when people are like jazz.
Yeah, jazz, but like this kind of jazz, like this is what I've done. They're like, okay, and it's kind of a cool gig because if you're touring in jazz, usually you're sleeping on a couch and playing for 10 people, and luckily you get to play these concert halls, these Eastern European, ex-communist halls, which are just wild in Romania and Azerbaijan, in China.
I mean, is there a big jazz following in Azerbaijan?
You believe it or not. Yeah, and there were people that came up to the stage with his records and like, please sign this record. That's my favorite place in the world to be, Azerbaijan. I can't wait to go back.
That's amazing, man. Why?
Yeah.
Why is it so great?
It's an unreal city. It's fairly new. They're sitting on a hotbed of oil, but under Soviet rule, they were not able to kind of just spend that money.
Right.
But then they're like, oh, we're free. Ooh, we have this oil money. And so now they have this kind of medieval modern society, which is,
it's going to be Russian again soon, I feel like, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But
yeah, it's all circular.
Too much, but I feel like Russia's.
Yeah, it's all circular.
Russia's picking up some chips, I feel like, at this point.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. Was La La Land a big boost to your gigs? Because I remember La La Land, when he started playing jazz, all of a sudden everyone was like, oh, jazz is kind of cool because Ryan Gosling is really good looking.
Yeah, I mean, our community can't stand that movie.
Is that right?
I mean, that and Whiplash, both those movies, I think that's Damien Chazelle. He's in 2 movies, he killed our economy.
Really? Why?
Yeah,
really?
I love Whiplash so much.
I mean, Whiplash is a sports movie. It's basically Das Boot in a jazz classroom.
That's absolutely true.
Which is cool. I found that entertaining. But when people are like, oh, I remember getting my global entry, thing to go to cut the customs line, and you have to go to the customs office, and they're like, what's your occupation? I'm like, oh, I'm a jazz musician. And she goes, oh, like La La Land? And I'm like, yes, sure, whatever. Please, can you just sign it?
You're like the Top Gun pilot after Top Gun came out and go, nobody would ever fly like that. That's bullshit. We didn't play volleyball with our shirts off. We were too busy. Just glow. Just go, yeah, man, that's me. I'm Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, man. I just play lame diatonic sambas all day, man. That's my vibe. Like Ryan Gosling. Yeah.
Wait, what lame diatomics?
Diatonic means everything is like, if you're in the key of C, everything you're playing is a white note. So it's like
What's the big song? That's it.
That's the opening song, and we're
that is the opening song.
Jazz.
What's
it's
the one
jazz.
he plays that's supposed to be so? It's like so heavy. Bum.
Genius. Oh. Sondheim, move away. Please, Sondheim, take a seat because we have. I mean, the greats.
What's your favorite Sondheim?
That's what there was.
He just passed. Let's pay some homage to the man. What's your favorite Sondheim?
Sunday in the Park with George, no question.
What's the song? They hit it.
Oh, I mean, just the whole musical, but probably Move On, the final thing. But just the whole arc and the struggle as an artist and trying to balance life with art, and you want to pay love to your woman, but you have to finish the hat, which is one of the songs. And it's a whole
I don't know that. Does anyone else? Do you guys know that musical at all? I don't know that one. What song would we know?
Sunday.
Can you hit it?
It's just like it's like. Crazy thing. It's basically about Georges Seurat, the pointillist painter.
Sure.
And how he was interacting with all the characters in his painting, and is slowly creating. I mean, it's a genius. It's like his most autobiographical work.
Okay.
For Sondheim. Yeah.
Check
it out.
It's no West Side Story, though, is what you're saying.
No, it's no West Side Story. It's no Company. It's no Into the Woods.
They never are.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
If the Grinch had a theme song, what would his theme song be?
Probably. Oh, you're asking the Grinch?
Or no, I want to hear what Max has to say.
Yeah, I think you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
I hate that. It's derogatory.
Yeah.
Do you know how it goes? I don't know how. You're a mean one.
Shoot. You're a mean one. Mr. Grinch. If you had blah 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 stinky fuzz, yeah.
God, I used to hate people who could just go da na 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 na, and then play it. I mean, you couldn't do that in high school. Girls didn't jump all over you.
I mean, I was trying to figure out the theme to Zelda, and that's what I was trying to do. And the underground.
Mario.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was in locked my room doing that.
Max, I need you to write me a new theme song because honestly, I'm not going to get any better if every 5 minutes some asshole is singing a song about what a jerk I am.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
It should be an evil song about the Who's. The Who's suck.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or let's get away from the negativity and have it misunderstood green. Misunderstood green. Yeah.
That's maybe you're the new Sondheim.
Yeah.
Maybe. Dude,
your mouth to God's ears.
Listen, we gotta move on, but Sam, he's back, right?
You're a rock star.
He's back every show, right? Like this is
absolutely.
There's nothing better than a guy with a piano who can play it. It's pretty great.
And I feel like I'm smarter somehow. You listen to jazz piano and you're like, I'm smarter now. It's like
it's intellectual art music.
Sam's brain grew 3 sizes today.
Yeah, I think you can just see it pouring out of his ears. Hey, people can come find you on Spotify, right?
Spotify,
under Max Hamer Music.
There's either Max Hamer or Max Hamer Music. I'm the only one.
Everybody, please go Google. You're a smart one, Mr. Grinch. You live on top of the world. Everybody go check him out. Max is going to take us out with, he has this sick cover that I love of Radiohead. He's going to play that for us. Everybody use this to go refill your drinks. And then we're going to come back and MJ Fowler, Black Wine Guy, is going to be in with us. So we'll see you in a couple after Max finishes this. Enjoy. Dude, thank you so much, Max.
Thank you, guys.
I'll talk to you soon, brother.
Happy holidays,
have
everyone.
Tour this week, and we'll grab a drink over the holidays.
Perfect.
All right, everybody. Max Hamer.
Thanks, Jamie.
All right, well, let's bring back Sam, dude. Right,
Dude. I'm a little bit of like a jazz nerd. I mean, I can't play anything. But,
oh wow!
There's a ton. You know, you come into the tasting room. Most of the vinyl's Grateful Dead, and then the other like plurality is jazz, and tons of like jazz piano, Thelonious Monk, and all kinds. So that was rad. Yeah,
he's
good.
So good, dude. It was so funny because when you meet somebody, and I typically find when people are like, "Oh, I'm really good at something," they're terrible at something. So we were hanging, and we kept going to practices and the kids' soccer games. A 6-year-old, and there's only 6 kids on the team, so it was Max and I and a couple other parents. And we talk, and he, it took like 6 or 7 practices before he's like, "Oh, I play piano. I'm a pianist." And I was the same. I was like, "Oh, I do this or whatever." And all of a sudden, he goes, "Oh," and we kind of kept going, and it was like a relationship building. And he was like, "Oh, I play jazz piano, or whatever." And so I looked him up, and I saw some videos online, and the next time I saw him, I was like, "Holy crap, dude! You're like a." He goes, "Yeah, that's what I do for a living." And I was like, "Yeah, fucking really good." And so it was just crazy. And then I asked him to come do the show. He's like, "Yeah, absolutely," and jumping on. But it's so much fun when somebody can just sit at a piano and be that guy. Super fun. So, all right, let's keep this beast going. We have, well, of course, the big man coming in. Let's bring him in right now. MJ, Black Wine Guy, is here. Hey, brother.
Yo! Oh my God.
We're back again. It feels like we were just here a couple days ago, man.
It seems as if I don't know what fucking day it is anymore anyway. So
no, I don't even know what I know what year it is.
And years. I know. I'm like
it can end soon enough, I think.
Yeah,
so
and,
listen, I have been is that what we're doing today? I love it. Dude, your Instagram is awesome. People who are following it are seeing all your big picks for the holidays. Do you want to give a quick little rundown of some of your faves? I guess, especially in the 16600 family for the holidays.
Yeah, well, you gotta have to wait a little bit. There's something coming.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna turn everything over to you because this is your time of day. I'm gonna let out first F word is MJ. See.
Always.
Always.
That's because we didn't let Phil in yet.
Listen, I'm going to bring Phil in, and then I'm going to disappear for a while, and I'm going to let you guys do some wine chit-chat. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Phil, Phil? No, Phil left. He was there the whole time, and then I just went to bring him in, and there he is. Everybody, Phil Kateri.
I think I'm still here.
No, you're here. We learned some stuff last show that, we don't know if you're here or not.
I don't remember last show because that was during the harvest.
That's
second
right. That's right. Or with acid flashbacks from when you were 14.
Yeah,
We don't know.
that was it.
We don't,
It was
don't
the
know.
harvest, Jamie. That's what it was. It was.
It was the harvest.
Not the grape harvest that he's talking about.
Yeah,
The green
there was a
harvest.
harvest. There was a harvest involved. So listen, I'm going to take off. I'm going to let you guys play. MJ, it's all yours. Everybody enjoy the show for a little bit, and I'll see you in a few.
All right. What's going on, Phil? How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's actually my 39th wedding anniversary today. And so
Wow.
my wife and I are up in Tahoe, skied a little bit, and we're going to go have a nice dinner. And I'm trying to figure out what we're going to drink, but I have a couple ideas. And I think we're supposed to wait at 3:15, but I've never played with time. I followed schedules pretty well. It's been a rough day.
Yeah, how you doing? I know Philippe has departed us, and it's always sudden. So I just thought it was kind of interesting that we were doing this today. It's solstice, and then your dear friend passed.
Yeah, well, it's always a rough day when a friend passes, and it's always because it fills you with and with the solstice coming. I was the summer solstice is bright and light. The winter solstice is the bringing on a bit of darkness that we come through, and everything opens up again. I'm sitting here. There's a lot of snow all around the cabin, and Philippe has been on our minds because when in our business, when you come across somebody who instantly there's a rapport and has like he's a grape, he's a vineyard, he's a vine, and he understands it, and you're whenever there's heroes in your life, and then you get to meet them and then do a collaboration with them, it energizes you.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I don't want to get heavy, but it's a heavy time when somebody dies. His 60th birthday will be in
January 22nd, right?
January 22nd,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm 10 years old. My 70th will be in October of the same year. But there was an instant camaraderie that we met when we met each other. We looked at each other and laughed.
Yeah.
And there was always laughter with Philippe, and there was always total respect and understanding. Parker called me the king of the god of Grenache. He was a bit of a hedonist, and looking at him, you could see he was a hedonist, but he loved flavor and he understood flavor, and flavor is what the Max was just playing jazz. The flavor. You're in a cellar like that, and you can see the beaming of it. That's what our life's all about. Shit, man. You're the black wine guy from New York. Your life is around flavor, and every time you meet somebody that can combine flavors and make them bigger than life, because he was bigger than life. And then you think about not seeing his smile. Not following his Instagram posts, and I always know how Philippe was, because he wouldn't. As soon as he walked into a restaurant, and I had many, he probably went to more 3-star Michelin restaurants than anybody. He should have been a food critic, but he'd walk in, he'd sit down. He said, "I need." He wanted the password for the Wi-Fi right off the bat, and then he started everything that came out that he looked at, he celebrated, and he ingested. And he remembered, because the beauty of wine The beauty of a wine of the critics, but the beauty of a great winemaker is how to remember a barrel out of 50 and say, give me 3 ounces of that and put it in this glass. And so that we celebrate, And last night I drank a bottle of wine that he blended. I think for Christmas we'll celebrate with Other Tet, and I love our wines, and I like to drink other people's wines on special occasions, just so you don't get a house palate, and you want to know what your friends make. You want to celebrate it with your friends, but we'll celebrate him.
Wonderful. So, 39 years, man. How
I'm not that old.
What's that? No, you're not that old. That's why we had to get married. We had to get married before you showed up.
how do you stay married for 39 years, man?
Right there. I think Thomas Jefferson described democracy as a simple art of compromise, which we have lost in this country. But there's 2 words: yes, dear. and that's how you get through it. When you count the years, then you realize how old you are. Number one. But I'll say this: that it's just like after 39 years, we're still discovering, having fun with each other, and that's she's a great cook, has a great talent. We'll pick out corked wines quicker than myself. Arden, how did we survive 39 years? She's right here. She doesn't want to come on the screen. So ask him, how did we survive 39 years? I grew intoxicants. That's how we survived 39 years.
There you go. There you go.
And she lies. That's what she says.
Oh man! Well,
any other words with there?
That's wonderful.
Don't ever tell the truth.
Yeah, she's not a Republican, and she says that.
Well, that's one of those compromises you have to make, right?
Yeah. Well, yes, dear. And that's how you compromise. But,
yeah, man. I got the winter, I got the winter release, and last time I drank the Mourvedre, I'm starting with the Grenache, and my wife's making a chicken gravy and biscuit. So I'm probably gonna either have the steel. What do you say? The steel plow or the what would you go? What would you pair with chicken and sausage gravy and biscuits?
I think the steel plow.
Yeah.
And that's the 17 steel plow too, right?
Yeah.
That's a Philippe Combi blended wine.
Yeah.
Well, I will have to do that. Yeah.
Last night Arden made a great a chicken stew. Also, we had on rice, and we drank that same bottle of wine.
Hey guys, we have Sandra here who has a great Philippe story.
Awesome.
I'm gonna pop her in right now. We're having this is the beauty of this show.
Jasmine! Hi, everybody.
Hi,
oh, my
Sandra.
God. It's so nice to see you.
Sandra, I'm sorry. I didn't know what was happening. I was trying
No,
to...
either did I. I've been cooped up in my house for 3 months. I don't know what the frick is going on. This is parents, right? Parents only. So I don't know. It was just really sad news when I got a message yesterday from Vicki Carroll from Hospice de Rhône. And we've spent so much time with Philippe over in France at the Découverte. And then, of course, when he's come here, we've had a dinner with him at Sweet D. We've had him at the restaurant. And it just, it's funny because I don't think people come and people go. Hi, Roger. And it's hard, it hurts the heart, you think about your memories and things like that. And I'm surprised I'm actually this moved by Philippe's passing. I didn't know him that well. We could only speak in like 3 or 4 words. Bonjour. Comment ça va? That was like my 2 sentences that I would know. But anyway, to make a long story short, we were very, very lucky to be able to cook in France a couple times for the Découverte. And one of these times it was in a castle. I don't know what city, somewhere near Avignon. And John Alban was with us, and Vicky couldn't make it that year. And it was John and I and somebody else from Hospice, Daron. And we had spent like 4 days like cooking, and we had no idea who we were cooking for, except we knew that they were French. But anyway, it was a very complicated thing. But in the end, we had done like a sea scallop carpaccio. And actually, like, if you can imagine, we're in this castle and it's spiral stairs to get the food to the dining room. And, the dishwasher was in like the steamy area. It was like craziness. But anyway, we did like the scallop carpaccio, and then we did wrapped duck confit with pancetta. And I hadn't really met Philippe before, but he was at that lunch. And afterwards, Sandra, it's like however he could say it to me. And it was like one of the biggest compliments ever. Not for me. I didn't cook it. I mean, I had to give that credit to John. But it was just like he knew food. I mean, sometimes we all wish we could have eaten like him without the calories. Like that would have been amazing to have had those experiences. But I will always have very, very special thoughts about him. And I know how much he's been to the Couture family and how much new stuff, and Isabel. And anyway, it's sad, but I'll have a lot of memories about him. And anyway, thanks for doing this. And I know in April at Hospice Daron, I'm sure Vicky will have something really big planned as well for that. Thanks for having me. And
Thank
happy
you, Sandra.
holidays.
Thanks for coming in and sharing.
Guys.
That was really sweet.
Hey,
Thank you.
MJ.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, guys.
See you.
Yeah. I don't speak any French. Philippe spoke about as much. He probably spoke more English than I did French, but you could communicate with him, as Sandra said. And he was family, and as you're talking about the Adam Lee actually posted something today where they were supposed to do a blending session, and Adam's mom had passed away, and Philippe wanted to cancel, but they went on with it. But throughout the tasting, he stopped and said, "Are you okay? Are you fine?" And so he was one of those. He had 5 things going on in his mind at the same time. He could separate them all out and bring them into perspective, and I think that's part of his beauty in the talent of blending wine. So and that's how today was. We could go from the laughter of an anniversary and the laughter of knowing that you get by for 40 years by lying, and then the sadness of a great man passing, but his smile and his sense of humor will always be with us, and his flavors. I think what he taught us, what he taught not just Winery 16600. You look at the litany of wines throughout France that he's laid his hand on, and the people that he worked with. That sense of understanding of what a Grenache grape does will live on. So, but
very true. I mean, down in Paso Robles, the downstream project he did with Justin and Sasha, I have that inaugural. And what you said, like the stories about him, like he comes in, he tastes like, okay, and this is the genius. He was like, he was working with Zinfandel,
yeah,
and Tempranillo, and he's like 76 Zinfandel 24% Tempranillo. Like he just knew, like he had that thing, and it was, for me, legendary. Anytime I see a wine, like you said, he's like a Michel Roland. Like I'll pick up, a Côte d'Aron or Côte d'Aron Village that he worked on. You can pick them up sometimes. You find them for like $20, and the wines are just so distinctive. And I wish I had met him in person, as you guys, and I was hoping to meet him at HCR, but it'll be nice to see what the community of Rhone lovers pulls together to honor him. So,
the thing about him, reading some of his writings, and you sent me his philosophy, yesterday, Dad, is all these wines that he's made are all true to the places that they come from the people that make them. Because the thing that he did more than maybe any other consultant was he listened and made the wine the style that you wanted to. The difference between, MJ talks about the downstream, which is a blend, and those wines are amazing. And then Adutet isn't really a blend. There's single vineyard wines. That was what we do, is single vineyard wines. And he made what we do better through his process. And that's just when the library of Combi wines represent that. They're all so different, and they're all so true to the intention of the winemaker and the place. That's what's most remarkable about the sort of breadth of the work.
Yeah. And when I look at you two together, Phil, I mean, brothers. You two are just like the camaraderie. You can see the energy between you two, the love. It's amazing.
Well, you know what? It's PC. We're politically correct. We have the same hairdo. and that's what I say about when I first met him. It's like we knew each other. It's like the story I told the last time I was on about on a misplaced acid trip, where we have different lives, but we knew each other through what we did. And I grew up with Zinfandel, and it was something that intrigued him. He grew up with Grenache. It was something that intrigues us and intrigues me. I just sent this. This is a photo from an A7 meeting that we did. I wish Sandra was here to see it, but
I sent her that photo this morning.
Okay, so that's Philippe in the middle. He always had a cigar. I don't think I ever got him to smoke a joint, but but he didn't mind. But and I think when you talk about wine and earlier they were talking about the Christmas drink, when you want hilarity in a great bottle of wine, there always has to be humor. It could be an incredibly serious Bordeaux, incredibly serious Reyes, but you want to laugh after you drink that.
Wow.
It has to put a chuckle. So here's to a chuckle.
Here's to a chuckle. Yeah, I love what you said there, Phil. It is like I just picked up. You're right. Your PC squared, and then there's just some people.
That was the original name for Adutet. Was PC squared.
Okay.
That was the working title.
But there's our people, like you said, you walk around, you just know, you have like a soul appointment, like you have a return. And I mean, I've experienced that. I think most people who buy your wines have experienced that. I don't know if people who are drinking like Kendall Jackson get that feeling, but around here, there's that kinship, that knowing. It's like, oh my God, I feel like I've known you my whole life, and it just shows. And I love what you said also, Sam. Like he listened as a consultant who listened, right? Like that is, you started off saying, Phil, like we've lost compromise. We don't listen in America. We don't listen to each other. We don't know how to compromise. But to have had that the opportunity to work with obviously a brother from another mother, that just you can never you always have that, right? And it'll always be imbued in the wines, through as long as you're making Auditet, he's still there, his spirit will be there.
Yeah, that's true. His spirit will live on. And every time I look at a grapevine, every time that I look at a bottle of wine, his spirit will be there. And just like every one of us on this, there's people in our lives that have left that they're touchstones. When you hear music, you hear them. When you see a movie, you see them. When you read a book, you feel them. So, yeah. But there's a line from a famous poet, John X, that only an honest man can make real wine, and only real wine can make a man honest.
Mm. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Hey, Phil, speaking of honest men, I wanted you to, we had a guest earlier who was waiting. He wanted to chit chat with you a little bit. I wonder if he's still there. You guys are very similar, and I'll bet you guys have a lot in common. So I wanted you to chat a little bit with Mr. Grinch, aka the green wine guy, which he obviously he grew up in a cave, so I know he made wine up on the mountain, but apparently it wasn't a great place to make wine. The grape doesn't grow well on a frozen mountain, from what I hear. So I want you guys to chat a little bit.
Grinch, I'm glad you brought us back Christmas.
I got to tell you, I also took acid at 14, so we have that in common as well.
You know what? That explains a lot, Mr. Grinch. You know what?
To be honest, I might have completely imagined the Who's. I'm not even sure anymore.
And you know what? There's been times when I was in high school that I was as green as you look right now.
Oh, so what's new? How's things?
Things are great. As the year winds down and we move into 2022, with the fatigue of coronavirus, the people celebrating being vaccination, and you know what? If they want me to take another shot, I'll do it. I have absolutely no problems.
I got the booster myself. I got the third shot of Moderna and a distemper shot. Yeah, both at the same time.
You also got a rabies shot, didn't you, at some point, Mr. Grinch?
Yeah, and they dewormed me all at once. Yeah.
Well, I got a rabies shot before we sit down and have a glass of wine together.
You might need it because honestly, he gets a little crazy after a couple glasses of wine.
And there's bats up in my cave. You never know. You just can't be too careful.
Very, very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, but
Now, have you had problems with like neighbors? Like obviously, Mr. Grinch, he's got a big plot of land. He's got a whole mountain to himself. Yeah. But he's got some terrible neighbors. I mean, do you ever have in your whole life, problems with some neighbors that might not work out? Next question.
We need to get a lawyer in here before you answer that, Paul.
We
need a lawyer. Paul, we gotta have a lawyer.
So what I understand is probably yes.
Somebody blocked the river up. Isn't that like the Old West when the one guy was like, "Did you just block the river?" He goes, "That's my river here, brother. I can do what I want, man."
No, but if you do have a problem with a neighbor, send Sam his address, and we'll send him. But Phil sent me a box of wine, and he'll forever be your friend.
Oh yeah, the Who's. And honestly, I know your wine goes really good with roast beast. I believe. Is that true?
It does, and it really pairs really well.
Well, actually, let's ask MJ. MJ, what label would you pair with a roast beast?
Oh wow! I mean, that Moon Mountain Cab is pretty delicious. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, last time we did this for the release, I actually had it with a big fat juicy burger, I believe. So
wow.
Yeah, and it's good to go. Like, what's the thing about Phil's wines? Like, it's pop and pour, but that thing could last 20 years or so, man, easy, So, I mean, and you have ideal conditions there on that mountain. I'm sure it's ideal storage temperature there, Mr. Green.
It's crisp. I mean, it is crisp. Yes.
Well, you should fill your cellar up. You could rent out some of your mountain to people who need more room in their cellar. And
I'll take whatever I can get.
But you can't touch it.
That part will be tough for me because I have impulse control problems. MJ, I got another one for you. What would pair well with a who hash?
Ooh, who hashed? Maybe some Katuri weed. I mean, if we're going hash.
Actually, you know what? That's the right answer.
I believe that is the answer. Yes.
Actually, if you guys don't market your own brand of who hash, then I can't help you. If you don't put a little who hash into every Christmas basket you send out, then you're missing a giant marketing scheme.
I gift that to you. You take it, you run with it.
That is awesome. Hey, listen, we got to jump to music. We have a special guest coming in. Does everyone want to hang for a minute or two? Let's bring our special guest from State Fair. Mr. Tanner Wally is here.
Oh, Tanner.
Hey.
Hey, guys. It's such a pleasure to be in the room with y'all. I hope it's not too echoey. I'm in a big open space, but does it sound good?
It's very echoey, but I feel like that's going to add to the sound. It feels like
Okay?
We can work with it.
you don't need the foot pedal for this one.
I'll play quieter so you can quite carry it.
Now, listen, before we start, I want to tell everyone that you are going to be at the Sebastiani Theater this Tuesday, I believe.
That's correct. Yeah, we're doing a show. Thank you for bringing that up. We're doing a show at the Sebastiani Theater. My new band, full ensemble of guitars, bass, drums. We have a pedal steel player, keys, piano, all that good stuff. We're playing the Sebastiani Theater this Tuesday, the 21st. Doors are at 7:00. All proceeds, wine sales, and ticket sales go to La Luz Center here in Sonoma. We've already raised some good money for them, and I'm looking forward to having a really fun night. I hope you guys can join. Tickets link. I don't know if you can put a link up on the website or on the chat. I'm happy to.
It's there right now.
Yeah, is it there? Yeah, can you click on? Well, either way,
you cannot click on it, but people have to find. They can either Google Sebastiani Theater or I think if they find State Fair.
Yep, State Fair, Sebastiani Theater. My good friend Robbie Arnett is going. He's been was in a great band for many years. He's opening up the show. He's doing a new solo project called Bobby. He calls himself Bobby Bianco. Really beautiful stuff. It's a full ensemble. We're going for it, and I hope you guys can make it. I know with everything going on, we're going to be really cautious with masks and checking vaccinations at the door and all of that. But I hope you guys can join. $20 a ticket. Again, every dime goes to the cause. So
that is super awesome to do, and it's a holiday thing. So this Tuesday, everybody should be free up in Sonoma to head out and do that. We're all going to get out of here. You're going to do a couple numbers for us, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, I was going to usually. So I should mention State Fair. It's a duo project. Well, it's not a duo. It's a full band, but it was started by my friend Austin Ferreira and I. And so we do sing in tandem together with. Think of it sort of like I don't know, Everly Brothers meets. It's a little bit more pop heavy, but we do sing everything together. So without him today, I'm going to sing my part on a song that we wrote together. But imagine him singing the third or the fifth above it. And this is a song called Bad Decisions. And I'm going to be playing the solo for the first time without him or the band. So let's see how it goes.
Here we go. All right, I'm going to pull everybody else out. MJ, you going to stick around till after? You got to roll.
I'm good. I'll be.
All right, well, I'll be back after, brother. Enjoy.
All right.
Everybody, Tanner Wally.
Thank you. I keep an angel in my pocket and the devil in my ear. When the good times are calling, he's the only thing I hear. I keep that angel close, looking out for my health, but these bad decisions ain't gonna make themselves. I've been on the outside before there was an inside. And I've been crawling before I could stand. I hear the devil calling like a good time friend. But these bad decisions are mine to make in the end. It may never be easy, it may never be clear. Keep that angel in your pocket, though her voice is hard to hear. The angel is screaming at the top of her lungs, but the devil only whispers and the damage has been done. I've been on the outside before there was an inside. And I've been crawling before I could stand. I hear the devil calling like a good time friend. But these bad decisions are mine to make in the end. I keep an angel in my pocket and the devil's in my ear. When the good times are calling, he's the only thing I hear. But you gotta keep that angel close, looking out for your health. 'Cause these bad decisions ain't gonna make themselves. 'Cause these bad decisions ain't gonna make themselves. Well, these bad decisions ain't gonna make themselves. Yeah, that's that. Minus the band. I think I'm going to go right into another one per request in this, and in the theme of the last tune. This is not one of mine. I'm sure you'll notice right away. I went out to Reno. I was trailed by 20 hounds. Didn't get to sleep that night till the morning came around. Said I will run, but I take my time. The devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight. Ran into the devil in the lonely 20 blues. I spent the night in Utah in a cave up in the hills. I said I'll run, but I'll take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. I got 2 reasons why I cry away each lonely night. First one's named Sweet Anne-Marie, she's my heart's delight. Second one is prison baby, the sheriff's on my trail. But if he catches up with me, you know I'll spend my life in jail. Got a wife in Chino, one in Cherokee. First one said she got my child, but he don't look like me. Said I'll run, but I'll take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. I got 2 reasons why I cry away each lonely night. Oh, first one's named Sweet Anne-Marie, she's my heart's delight.
Second one is prison, baby. Sheriff's on my trail. Oh, and if he catches up with me, you know I'll spend my life in jail. Set out to Reno, I was trailing about 20 hounds. Spent the night in Reno, and the gunman came around. There it is. Said I'll run, but I take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight. I just might get some sleep tonight.
Woo! Hey, everybody, come on back in. Hello, who's messing?
I dropped the ball. I mean, talking about the pressure of people to play that song in front of them. I dropped the ball in that last one, but
You made it your own. That was your interpretation of it. That's the way I saw it. Honestly, might have been better than the original. The lyrics. I don't know.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Are you kidding? Thanks for coming on and sharing your talent with us, everybody. If you're in Sonoma, you got to go see the band. Special guest Bobby Bianco. We can't do links, but I love when people are like, could you put a link? Just Google State Fair Sonoma.
Yeah. It's actually I don't know if anybody's going to write this down. If you want to write this down, it's actually there's an Eventbrite link that's not this, but it's La Luz State Fair, all one word, La Luz State Fair .eventbrite.com. La Luz State Fair .eventbrite.com.
Got it. It's in my head, too. Never gonna happen. All right. Also, here, let me write this down. XY. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. The number 7, the letter Q.
I love when people like people go, how do I find you? Just Google Jamie Kaler.
Exactly.
Google Tanner Wally, and you'll see some bad stuff.
And Google the Valley is a beautiful restaurant that Tanner and his partners run.
Right.
It's great in Sonoma, and it's an honor to have Tanner on, and for him, Sandra, two of the best restaurateurs in Sonoma.
Yes,
that's really sweet, Phil. That means the world. I mean this truly. That means the world coming from you, and we feel such a close and loving connection to this community. In large part, thanks to you guys and to 16600 and just your support. And hopefully, we'll see you very, very soon. Tomorrow night's the champagne dinner here. And I know Sam's hopefully coming by, but yes, Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you. And hopefully we'll see you Tuesday at the Sebastiani.
Tear it up, Tanner. Thank you so much for stopping by, man.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thanks for giving me the floor for a little bit.
Are you kidding? We loved it, man.
All right, dude. I'll see you guys soon.
Have a good one. Well, guys, I mean, that was a show, was it not?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Yeah. That was insanity show. So, let's just say our goodbyes. I think. Should we let the Grinch go?
Sure.
So apparently next year, I think there'll be a book out from your side of the story.
I don't know. I hit the Who hash during the break, and I'm real messed up.
I'll look at my mailbox tomorrow to see if you drop some off.
All right. Well, actually, the Grinch is going to be the last one to leave. Sam, are we letting you? Actually, let's let MJ go. MJ, people, your Instagram account's awesome. Black Wine Guy. What else should people know?
Oh, just the podcast. We wrapped up a great year. We still have 1, 2, 3. I think 3 episodes to drop. So that's called the Black Wine Guy Experience. We had JJ Redick of the NBA on, who's a big Burgundy guy.
Yeah.
And we had a really huge guest lined up. They had to reschedule, like someone who has like 10 million followers and 25 on Twitter. I don't want, it's show business. I'm learning, Jamie. I don't want to say who it is.
You don't want to jinx it.
I don't want to jinx it.
My appetite is already whetted.
But they did reschedule and follow the Instagram because I did my top 10 baller bottles from the podcast, the most interesting bottles. Now I'm just on to the 30 bottles that just wooed me and wowed me. I know I had to up it till 30. I'm not at 100 yet. That's a lot of fucking note taking. That's a lot of note taking, bro.
That is a lot of note taking, bro.
But we got 30. So keep your eye out, Phil and Sam. I'm sure, and anybody in the Winemakers Pod. So everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa.
Have a great holiday, and we're going to be back next month because this is too much fun, and we're going to keep doing this. So we'll see you again. So everybody, go check out the Black Wine Guy podcast. Definitely follow him on Instagram and see what he has to say. It was super. I love your Instagram account. All right, guys, we'll see you. See MJ later. Let's let Phil. No, who should we let go? Phil, Sam.
Yeah,
all right, let's get Phil out of here.
Go play in the
It's his anniversary. He's got to get out of there.
Phil, so sorry for the loss of your friend. I mean, he seemed like an amazing cat, man. So great homage to him, and everyone raise a glass, and well said tonight.
Yeah, thank you, and everybody have a great Christmas and a wonderful New Year.
All right, you too, Phil. See you soon. All right. Sam, Paul, Jasmine. That was a fun one tonight, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, great job.
Really fun.
Man.
Really fun. I guess
You guys are fun to party with. I'm not gonna lie. I've partied with some of the greats, but you guys got it going on.
I mean, you partied with everybody.
Thanks, Mr. Grinch. Appreciate it.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to you. All right, boys, we'll let you guys go. And Jasmine, was great. You added a lot. I mean, you really listen. Everything you need to say visually, you got it out there. You're one of those actors. You just work with your eyes and your face, and I think we know exactly what you're thinking. And
she was thinking what Roger Randall said: buy more wine.
Buy more wine. I think
and I'm going
awesome.
to. Yeah.
Obviously, you still can't get wine for Christmas, but I believe New Year.
At least Christmas, Chinese New Year.
Chinese New Year. What year is it this year? Is it the year of the Grinch? What year is it?
Isn't it always?
It's the year of the rat. I'm the year of the dragon. I was born the year of the dragon. I know that, and I don't think it's a good thing.
I can't count by 12. I don't really know.
You count by animals. It's dragon, rat, goat.
Why do you know this?
You don't know the year of the dragon, and the Chinese year is always the year of some insane creature. No,
he's making this up.
All right, the year the dragon will be here for the next month's show to see. Obviously, people should just go to Winery 16600. The club. Most of the people who are watching this are part of the club, which is cool. You want to talk about that for 2 seconds, Sam, really quick?
What is the year of first?
It's the year of the tiger. The year of the tiger. 2022, year of the tiger, and the year of buying Rossi Ranch wines, because that's what the wine club's going to have a whole bunch of different Rossi Ranch stuff as specials coming up in 2022. New Auditet. And the thing that people are really doing right now is, when you're a wine club member, we ship your wine for free. So people, we've been it's in like Santa's little workshop over here. We've been sending wine, 100 bottles at a time to people all over the country. So that's the big thing. We make it easy for you to get your wine. That's the bottom line.
The great thing about the wine club too is it's such a great, I gave it as a gift to some people, and it's the greatest gift ever because it's like, during the holidays, they get so many gifts. But the beauty of the wine club is you get a little special gift in the spring, and you get this second gift, and you're like, oh, that's right. That guy gave me the greatest gift of all time. So as a gift giver, the wine club's like the greatest gift of all time.
And yes, Oakville Cabernet Franc.
Yeah, Roger Randall. Roger Randall, the
spoiler alert,
didn't learn from MJ how to make a tease. Yes.
Yeah.
Oakville Ranch Cabernet Franc. That's something we got like 50 cases of. So if you're a member, you'll have a chance at getting it. If you're not a member, you better sign up.
You better join, or just drive to the vineyard and rob you guys. No, that would be.
How does one sign up?
We keep it all separate, so you can't. You can take the money or the tie-dye T-shirts. The wine's harder to get. How you sign up? You go to the website winery16600.com and look for Phil Sent Me. Now, that guy Phil. It's the wine that Phil sent you. So if you just Google Phil Sent Me, I don't think anybody else has made their wine club as complicated as that. So Phil Sent Me Wine Club, it'll probably show up on the Google bot.
I'll tell you what he sent me, a whole lot of Christmas joy. Yes.
Yes, he has. So, all right, listen, that's it from here. I'm Jamie Kaler. That is the Grinch, and we do the Parents Lounge every Tuesday night. So if you are a parent and you like wine, then you're like every other parent on earth. So come check us out live. We have pretty big celebrity guests. We have Jim Gaffigan coming, Shannon Dory's coming, Bill Engvall's on this Tuesday. We have Larry the Cable Guy. And we just talk parents, and actually we drink. It's an excuse to get together every Tuesday night and drink. 7 p.m. PST. Come find us, the Parents Lounge. I guess that's it. This was super fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone for joining us, and we'll see you in the virtual vineyard next month. All right.
So long.
Bye-bye.